Sometimes it can be terrifying, to see these things. They tell you make a cup of coffee, seeing all these things, you don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that viewer out there who is new to coffee, they're basic. They went to the supermarket. Someone told them go and buy an AeroPress, and now they're just looking at the AeroPress. They don't know what to do with it. So I just want to hand it over to you guys. Just take us from ground level until we get to our cup of coffee. So over to you, gentlemen.
Okay. Now this is an espresso. It is actually easy and quick to use. First and foremost, this is our basket.
Hello and welcome to House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel and this is the Coffee Break, the only coffee show in the land of Uganda. So if you're not here watching it, I don't know where you are. Welcome again to this edition where we talk about coffee, everything that involves, the coffee business. We're talking to baristas, we're talking to roasters, we're talking to farmers, and everything you need to know about coffee. This is the show where you learn about it. This is House of Talent Television. You can always catch us on social media handles at House of Talent TV. That's on Facebook, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, and on House of Talent TVUG.com. That's on our website. Make sure not to miss the show. If there's someone you know who needs to be watching this show, let them know that we are on right now, wherever you're watching from in the world. Today, I have two gentlemen in the house. These guys are very learned in coffee. They have studied, they have worked in coffee, and I'm excited to have them here because it's always good to have different experiences. People come, people go, but everyone comes with a new experience. And I just want to welcome these guys in the house. Arnold and Ali, you guys are very welcome to House of Talent Television.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you guys. Thank you for honoring our invitation. I know it was a last minute thing, but the rain in the morning and all these things, but you guys showed up here, and I just want to say thank you very much. And we just want to dive right into the show. As youthful guys, young guys, good looking guys, there are a lot of other things you could have been doing. I know there are guys who are playing football, there are guys who are studying to be doctors, but you guys decided that we should get into coffee. what prompted that idea that you should get into coffee? I'll start with you, Arnold.
Good morning, viewers, and my name's Arnold Darinda, barista, Brew Plus Lab.
Yeah.
Like any other young man, initially it's all about maybe money, making it in life.
Yeah.
So my journey in coffee was initially making money. I didn't know where all this would end.
Yeah.
But it was all about I need to earn something. I remember back then I had just had my boy, so it was all about making money for them diapers, and that was it. that was the start of everything. But as the journey went on, it is so beautiful, and it's an adventure.
It's something
that
you don't
needs
regret.
years and years of explanation of stories and telling how everything goes.
Well, today we're going to have those stories. And Ali, how did you, I know that there's lockdown going on, so did you wake up one morning and say, you know what, instead of being bored at home, let me get into coffee? What's that story for you like?
Actually, it wasn't because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
I was looking for a job in 2019 in some restaurant. So the barista had gone somewhere. They had no barista.
Yeah.
The boss was like, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll bring someone to give you some knowledge about baristry.
Yeah.
I said it's okay. I was looking for a job. As he said, we have to earn.
Yeah.
We set our goals to have some money and all that. But being in that position, I had love for it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with coffee. I did everything I could, but I had no that knowledge. So I decided to go to Brew Plus Academy. It's actually a laboratory found in Kamocha.
Yeah.
I started learning, and it's going very well.
Yeah.
I'm actually a student at MUBS University.
Okay.
But I love what I'm doing.
Yeah. So what are you studying at MUBS?
Business administration.
So in the future, as you're going to take your coffee, add it with business administration and become a businessman.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So back to you, Arnold. We have had guys here who their first coffee experience, wasn't that good. At least I know at least 70% of the guys who have been here always say the first time they took a coffee cup, it was bitter. It wasn't like, in Uganda we used to taking tea, and they were like, the first coffee cup they took was really bitter, but somehow they ended up becoming baristas, How was your first coffee cup for you?
It was actually interesting because I was so privileged I started from Endiro Coffee. So I was really around very good guys. So my first cup of coffee was like a test.
Yeah.
Because I used to see what these guys were doing, the art and everything. It was so beautiful. So the norm was you make the coffee, you take it. You don't waste it.
Yeah.
You make the coffee, you take it. So the guy who made barista, he was called Barista Isaac, he made the coffee and was like, this is for you. Back then I was an assistant. An assistant was mainly doing the juices, and you really had less opportunity to go to the coffee machine.
Yeah.
So the guy was like, today this is for you, and I had never tasted coffee. So when I took it, for the first time it is bitter, but with the milk I had to finish it. So the love went on growing, and then I wanted to make it for myself. And before I knew it, I was actually like 2 weeks on trials. The HR phoned me and was like, so you've just been here 2 weeks and you're doing the coffee, and that's how I got tested, and it all went on. And I started working.
Interesting. So Ali, you told us that you basically got into barista because the barista wasn't there at that time.
Yeah.
And they just threw you in. It's like throwing you in the deep end when you go to the pool and you really have to learn how to swim at that point. So what was the first cup of coffee you made? Like, I know that I asked him what his first taste was, but the first cup of coffee you made, was it a disaster? Was it something that you made and you're like, I think this is what I should be doing in my life, How was it for you?
Before having knowledge about coffee and tasting it, I had friends, they would tell me coffee is sour, coffee is bitter, and all that, but my first cup when I took it, it was a bit harsh. I don't know if it was the coffee I took. and very strong. But as I went on to some restaurants, they gave me coffee with milk. I tasted it. I didn't even put sugar in it.
Yeah.
And it was very sweet, and the aroma was nice.
Yeah.
But the first one, yeah, it was a bit bitter.
And what about your first experience making a cup for a customer? How was that like?
As I told you before, they brought me someone, but it was only for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So you learned for 30
For
minutes?
30 minutes. Knowing nothing about anything.
Yeah.
Even the machine, he told me you steam like this, an espresso should be like this.
Yeah.
So I had to do it because
Yeah.
I wanted to try out, and yes, I wanted money.
Well, that must have been like a very scary experience because, you know, just throwing into a machine, you have
It
no
was,
idea what
but
you're doing.
Lucky enough,
Yeah.
the first coffee I made to the customer, the guy liked it.
Mm.
And he was like, yeah, you can do good coffee. Then the boss was around also. Then he said, you know what, it's really nice. And this baristry stuff is very good. So maybe you should go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like a month, and I had to start studying again.
Well, I think it's something that actually chose you. You know, I know some guys some guys would have given up at that point,
Yeah,
and you say,
yeah.
you know what, let me try something else. Yeah. Arnold, we were talking earlier, and you said you've been to Oman. You've been to a country that no one has heard of. I was actually surprised to hear about that country. So, how was that transition from Uganda to Oman? I know a lot of guys have been to UAE. Most guys go to Dubai. You're the first guy on the show I've had who has, worked in Oman. There's a guy we had who worked in Kuwait. So how was the switch? How did you get from Uganda to Oman? And where did you end up next? And now you're back here to Uganda. How was that whole journey back to here?
It all started from, there's a bar called Torino. I don't know if you know it. Yeah. So I had the guy I was working with. So he left. So when he left, we were in touch, but lessly, not like usually. So before I knew it, he was in Oman. And I didn't know he was in Oman. Like the first time I communicated to him was like, oh, I'm in Dubai, So after like a month, he tells me, you know what, these guys need a second barrister where I am. And to cut the long story short, I joined him and we started working together.
Yeah.
Not I had experience, because like the people there love coffee. They take coffee from the household, like they take the local brew from the household. So they really love the coffee. So it was a good experience. And I worked there for a year. The business was not really moving smoothly, so they had to. So I was like, I had a baby, so I already missed home. So I told the guy, since the business is not really well, let me go take a break, and maybe when things normalize, I'll come back. Yeah. So when I got here, we were in touch with the boss. So he told me, he was like, things are still hard. We can't, bring you back soon. And I was like, I have to earn. So that's when I got the Somaliland deal. Yeah. Just like how you said, you've never heard of it. Yeah. When they told me you're going to Somaliland, I was like, what? Somalia or Somaliland? The guy was like, there are two different things, Somalia and Somaliland. So I went to Google and I had to look for search about it, and but simply, like I told you, by that time I had the love, because with coffee, it's like an addiction. You get the love is so intense. Like the more you don't take coffee, it keeps reminding you every day you need to take coffee. You need to take coffee. So I was sitting, but my mind was like, you need to get back to the machine. You need to get back to the machine. So when the deal came in, there was some good money. I was like, this is not the money I want, but then I need to go. So it is always a good experience, and to learn more. Somaliland was a different environment from Uganda, from Oman. So I really loved it, and it was fun. Like it is always good to learn more, and it adds more value and to you as a barrister. Yeah,
that's very true. For those of you who are out there, just like you, when you hear the word Somaliland, there are two different countries. You have Somalia and Somaliland. So if you have your Google, Uncle Google, you can always go and check it out. I believe it's a country that, like you said, it has Somalians who went out and came back to stay in the country. Yeah. So it's kind of like how we have our Kisenyi here.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how it is that side.
The locals are good, they're very peaceful people, but mostly the businesses are for the people who have been, you know, who have made some money, and the locals also, but mostly there are those people who have been outside the country and just come back to set up some businesses.
I think it's a country that we should actually visit.
Yeah, very peaceful.
Yeah, so Ali, he has had his experience. He has been to Oman, you know, he has been to Somaliland. Okay, before we take a break, I'd just like to ask you, like many barristers, actually, they don't want to stay in Uganda.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that dream destination you want to go to and work as a barrister after you maybe finish your course? Or you could also want to maybe go to Masaka and, you know, improve the coffee there. So what's that destination that you would like to go to?
Me personally, I would love to stay in the country.
Okay.
And instead of going to some place where they know coffee, I would love to educate people around so that we all both know coffee. And yes, if that opportunity comes of going abroad, I can take it.
Yeah. Okay, so which, if you get that opportunity, which country would it be?
I'll go to Arab Emirates.
Arab Emirates, eh?
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break right now. In the house, we have Ali and Arnold. Arnold, who has been around the place letting us know about a new country, Somaliland, and Ali, who wants to stay in the country and actually teach people about coffee, which is a very good thing. We're going to take a break right now. Get your cup of coffee, get your pen and paper if you want to write down anything, and we'll be right back. This is House of Talent Television, the coffee break with me, Emmanuel.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, you know, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, no, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Brew Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, brew ratio is I think the most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of the coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I? Exactly. So if you don't master the brew ratio, oh, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
Welcome back to the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel, and in the house today I have Arnold and Ali, two wise guys, two guys who have been around, two guys who are studying. One of them started on job, went backward. One started from the right place, going forward. Arnold, you were telling me earlier that you took the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
You started basically on station, and now you're working your way backwards into learning. How does that work? I figure that if you start from the station, you should already have gotten knowledge from that station. So why is it that you're taking a step backward to actually go back into school and learn more about coffee?
It's like learning a vehicle or a car when you're learning driving. But just like meeting you and start teaching me the driving. Maybe you don't know the basics. But then when you go to the driving school, they have some basics. You have to do this, you have to do this. So with how I started was basically like a set of like, just get to know this and go make some money.
Yeah.
But then when I met Isaac from Brew Plus, there are many things that I saw and I was like, what? So coffee has basics, because coffee has, there are a few things you need to know: how the coffee is grown, how the roast, the cupping. It is detailed, not really very detailed if you're really focused. But like when I got back and I saw all these, and I was like, no, I need to add on whatever I have to be a better barista. Yeah, because you can't just take coffee because of making the money. Yeah, true. Yeah, it is. When you grow up and learn it and love it more, it's really a very good experience. So I had to really get back to the ground and learn more with Brew Plus.
Interesting experience. I think most people would have just continued, you know, until you reach that point where you need a certain basic, but you didn't learn it, so it becomes a really big problem. Yeah. So for the people out there, if you learn on station, it's always good to go back, have a refresher course, you know, because coffee is a changing industry. There are always new things that are coming up with coffee research, so people need to keep learning. Yeah, and Ali, you also started with a 30-minute tutorial, basically. You know, they just threw you inside there. So I want to ask, is there, before you got into Brew Plus, okay, we've had people here who say that they studied on YouTube University. Yeah, with your 30-minute tutorial before you got into Brew Plus, okay, did you take like an initiative to learn some things about coffee by yourself, or it was just like, you know what, you realized at that point and you're like, I need to go to Brew Plus?
I actually used the help of internet. Yeah, I did some research because I had to do the job, and it was an opportunity given once. I didn't want to stay back at home telling my boss that, you know what, this thing is hard, I can't do it. So I had to learn, did some research, what makes my coffee better. Yeah, I used the internet. Then after, I went back to the university. That's when during lockdown, it's when I decided, you know what, maybe you can do better at baristry. So I went to some academy. I found that their standard is a bit low. Someone recommended me for Isaac at Brew Plus, and it's a very good experience there.
So at least I know that all of us at a certain point have used YouTube University for one or two things. But it's interesting that there's actually a lot of resources out there, you know. I know that there are people who want to start their baristry journey, the people want to be roasters, but you know, they're looking at the schools, and some schools are expensive, some people don't have money due to the lockdown. But I think for those who are out there, you don't need to start in a school. You can start on station, work your way backwards, like these guys, or you could just go to YouTube, go to the internet, you know, search something, so by the time you get the opportunity, you're already on your way moving. So guys, today I want to talk about the different lessons that you've basically learned on this journey, because I know that there are many lessons, you know. Before you got into it, you had no idea about what coffee was. But now, you know, standing and connecting the dots backward, you can actually see everything a bit more clearly. So what are some of those lessons that you have learned, you know, as a barista, as a student, as someone who has worked on station, you know, basically to let the baristas out there know what your experience has been, and also those who want to get into coffee, to guide them into, you know, getting into this business. I'll start with you, Ali.
The lessons learned, you get to know a lot about coffee. You fall in love with coffee. You get to know that it has nutrients, vitamins. It can help you when you're like lazy or low. It has that caffeine. You get to learn more about coffee and its importance, not only because you want the job, but you appreciate coffee.
All right, interesting. Harold?
Along the way, I think I will say I've learned to be humble. Like I told you, I was just an assistant who was just supposed to stand there and make the juice sound. But because I was humble to these guys, to my leaders, they really saw something in me and they gave me an opportunity. And then being eager to learn. For everyone who is out there, with the young men, every young man out there, you need to be eager to learn, because there are many opportunities there. I don't know, I've met Emma today, I don't know where we shall meet any other time. I will meet this person. So always be humble and be eager to learn. And then about coffee, I've learned, like I think I've learned that always take everything in the steps. Because if I had started with the basics, I wouldn't be back here now.
True.
So like, if you have the opportunity, take it in the right way. Always be humble, take the opportunities, and be eager to learn.
Interesting. So you have to be humble,
and
also be eager to learn. I know there are some people, when you say be eager to learn, their mind runs back to school, and some people are not so good with school. More of the lessons I'd like to take from, basically, as a barista, you deal with people. Okay, you're not serving animals, or you're serving customers. Okay, and sometimes you meet different kind of customers. You have the very nice customers who will appreciate you whether you're doing a good job or you're not doing a good job. Then you have the harsh ones. You feel like you've made the best cup of coffee, but you know they are trashing that cup of coffee. They're telling you could have done better and all that. So working with different types of people, working with different types of customers, what are some of those lessons that you have learned that can make the customer experience better for the customer and also better for you as a barista?
First of all is be confident in yourself. Because if you're not confident, I will not be able to explain to you what I'm doing. If you make a cup of coffee and a customer comes and says, oh, this is not how I wanted it, be able to get back to them politely and tell them this and this and this and this. Because you need to, and you need to have the knowledge about the coffee, about what you're doing. Because if customers know what they want, you come and say, I want a cappuccino, you know what you want. So if I give you something different, you're going to get back to me. So I need to have the knowledge, and I have to be confident enough to explain to you that this is what you wanted, this is what you ordered for, and this is what we are giving you. So basically, you need to be confident, and you need to have the knowledge. Like, that's why I told you, I'm back now. I need to have the knowledge from zero, from one, so that when something comes up, you're able to explain to a customer. You're able to, because if someone goes today because of a mistake you've done, they may maybe not come back, and that will cost you as a barista, as a business at large. So you need to be confident and need to have the knowledge. And then you have, we always have our own issues going on in our lives. You always take that aside when, when you're facing a customer, like when you're working. That should be really out, because you can't get your stress. Everyone has their own stuff going on in their lives, so you need to, have to be composed and know how to approach and associate with the customers.
All right. Ali, anything to add on that?
Like you've said, some are harsh, some are very sweet. So there's a time that can come and you find out that maybe the coffee was delayed in service or something, and the guy wants it warm or hot. You don't give back to the customer. Our main goal is to maintain the customers we have, so that we can get other customers, new ones, but maintaining those we have. So you should be problem solving. As a barista, you should be patient, you should know your work, you should create a very good environment.
Okay, interesting. So that's the side of the customers, but we have the side of the bosses. Some bosses are horrible. Some bosses will want to make you quit the next moment. But some bosses will always encourage you. So what are some of those lessons that you have learned from your bosses, whether good or bad bosses? What are some of those lessons that you have learned from bosses, and are there some things that bosses need to improve on?
As a barista, when you're on the shift, like I said, you need to have the knowledge. And then to the boss, you need to show them that you have the knowledge. They have to trust in you. They have to trust in what you give to them. So a boss always knows that they know, however much they hired you, but they know. So it sometimes you have to lower your ego down and let them know that, work together with them, because they know. They think they know what you know. So you really have to go down and tell them, you know what, this and this and this is how we do it. This is how we do it. I know you have your own way, you know it, but we can, incorporate it together and we can work it out this way. Because the bosses who are horrible, like you say, like, you come and shout at you, you will this and this, but, you need to, like I said, you need to be humble. You need to know how to handle situations. Otherwise, you can't make it. If you're that high-tempered, you will not make it. You will lose the job, and it's always not good to to leave a bad image behind where you never know what comes in the future. So you really have to handle everything with good care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ali, before we go for a break, your first boss. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that one thing you learned from him that has kept you through this coffee business?
I learned from my boss one thing. He knew coffee. So some bosses know what coffee is. And he was a very nice guy. He knew that he didn't know the job, but he made me feel like, I can do better. But if it was another person, then I would say maybe you need to be patient and humble, as he said. You should know that you don't know this thing, but are you willing to learn? Or you are a quitter, you should quit. So you should be problem solving, patient, and knowing what you want. Maybe others need to be taught. They may know, but they don't know everything about something. You can teach him and you'll be like, I did this because of this and this. That's it.
So when it comes to working, there's basically both sides, and actually 3 sides. The baristas are caught right in the middle. You have the side of the boss, okay, you have the barista, and then you have the customer. Okay, so basically everything is revolving around you, So you receive information from both sides. So how you take that information as a barista will determine how good of a service that you want to give basically to both sides. Yeah, that's really interesting. We're going to take another break right now. In the house, we're talking to Ali and Arnold, who have been telling us their experiences in coffee. They've been telling us different lessons. If you're a barista out there and you've had an experience, you've had different lessons, you can always send us a message, drop into our inbox, drop some messages on our social media handles. Let us know that you're watching. Tell us about the different experiences that you've had. And when we come back for the break, we're going into the best part of the show. I know the part that everyone waits for. We're going to brew a cup of coffee. These guys are going to put their experience to the test. There are certain things that we test, for baristas when they come here. So we're going to be marking you guys. We're going to see how much you've learned here. This is House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel. This is the Coffee Break.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. Baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Brew Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing that course.
My name is Emmanuel. Remember, you can always catch us on our social media handles. You can catch us on Facebook at House of Talent Uganda, on our Twitter at HTV Uganda, on YouTube at House of Talent live stream. Make sure you catch all these shows, especially the Coffee Break, the only coffee show that happens in Uganda. You can also catch us on our website at houseoftalenttv.com. Make sure you comment, let us know, like Mr. Eddie says, send us your kisses, your disses. If you like the show, let us know. If there's something you need us to change, let us know. If there's someone that you want to see on this show, let us know. We'll be sure to get them onto the show. Coming back to the show, Ali and Arnold were telling us their experiences, the lessons that they have learned, working with different kinds of bosses, working in different places, working with different customers. And for the baristas out there, I believe that the lessons that they have told us are really important things. But like I said before we went for the break, we're coming to the most important part of the show. You know that this is the part that everyone waits for. It's that part where we get to brew a cup of coffee. If you're new to the show, well, this is a tutorial for you. I know that guys are used to buying this Kawa coffee for 100 shillings and just pouring hot water into it and you know they get away with it and that's a cup of coffee. But there's a professional way to do things, but there's also an easier way, you know, professional and easy way to do things. So I just want to hand over to you guys. We have a lot of stuff here on the table. You know, we have coffee, we have flasks, we have all these things, and sometimes it can be terrifying, you know, to see these things. They tell you make a cup of coffee, seeing all these things, you don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that viewer out there who is new to coffee, they're basic, they went to the supermarket, someone told them go and buy an AeroPress, and now they're just looking at the AeroPress, they don't know what to do with it, you know. So I just want to hand it over to you guys. Just take us from ground level until we get to our cup of coffee. So over to you, gentlemen.
Okay. Now this is an espresso. It is actually easy and quick to use. First and foremost, this is our basket we are going to use to make good coffee. We need to put this filter inside. An espresso was invented in USA by a man. He was actually a professor at Stanford. He was called Adler Allen in 2006. So we are going to put our filter inside, put it here, put some water here. What we are going to do is to first preheat the cup and the espresso.
Actually, that's one of the first things we test.
Yeah.
Most of the baristas have come, you first have to preheat
and clean our equipment. So we are going to preheat. Even the filter, when you preheat, you remove that peppery taste.
Okay.
Yeah. That's preheating. We are going to preheat our cups because we can't serve a cold beverage or a hot beverage in a cold cup. So this is it, preheating. When we are done with that, we want to remove our water real quick. In baristry we measure everything, water, coffee, but if you want to use your espresso at home, you can even put 2 spoons or 1, depending on what you want.
So it is what the baristas call the ratio.
The ratio.
We have to scale and weigh everything. So I'm going to put 2 spoons. I'm going to use this. That's our coffee.
So if I was to go to the supermarket to buy like an AeroPress like this, you know, how much would it cost me? How much would it go for?
I really know, but I really don't know about the price.
Okay.
But it's very nice and portable. You can move with it, go outside, camping.
But I think it's advisable to contact like Blue Plus to give you the really authentic thing, because the supermarket maybe may not get you the really
authentic
perfect one, authentic one. So it's really good to contact the real good source and to get an authentic AeroPress.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm going to first bloom to remove that carbon dioxide and gases in the coffee for a better taste. I'm going to bloom for a minute and leave it there.
Okay, so usually
to degas.
Yeah, to degas it, yeah?
Yeah. But you can also pour and wait.
Okay.
This is my...
So, like I was saying earlier, there are certain things we mark here, you know, to test you as a barista.
Yeah.
One of the things is that you have to preheat.
Yeah, you have to preheat.
Yeah.
You have to really preheat.
Yeah. So if any barista came here and they did preheat, we have to question.
Because if you just serve the coffee, the peppery taste will be on the in the coffee.
In the coffee.
And then the cup is cold. You can't serve. You
can also mix if you want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mix.
Okay.
To create a nice bed and to soak every part of coffee.
Yeah.
After mixing, I can even pour. But as a side, you measure for that better taste. Depends on what you want. I'm going to remove this.
So maybe someone out there, they may think you just pour. It is just because of time we were not able to measure. But normally, this is always on a scale. There is a certain amount of the ratio of water to the coffee. So that is all done. But because of time, we can, we cannot do all that.
So I'm going to wait for 1 minute.
Okay.
And our coffee will be ready.
Okay. So as we wait for our minute to get over, there's this idea that the coffee business or the coffee industry right now, especially baristry, is so dominated by the male figures. You know, it's a men's thing. I've met about 2 to 3 female baristas. The bigger number that I've met are actually men. Okay, so why is that so? Ladies afraid of getting into baristry? Is it something looked at as uncool? You know, what do you guys think? Why is it that it's hard for ladies to, get involved?
I think generally it's like the hard work. We women are the donkeys and all the stuff. So I really think the ladies sometimes they do shy away from the hard work, and maybe some ladies are not comfortable with the too much exposure from some of them are scared of the customers shouting at them, such stuff. But there are some really good brave ladies who have come out to get into the business, and I think because just that the business is growing in Uganda, that's why we the men are the first to take the opportunities. So then you see the ladies are picking up slowly. And maybe like locally you may find someone who finds it difficult to employ a lady because of the loads of work always on the shifts, so they may feel like the lady is not really up to it like how a man can be. Okay. But there are really good ones who are coming up, and like you said, a few of them are coming up.
I'm going to plunge.
Okay.
You plunge like this. So our coffee is being pressed into the cup.
So I think for some of these processes, you really need to work on your arm strength.
There you go.
Yeah.
Our coffee is ready. So just invert it and clean up. You need to be real clean.
Yeah, hygiene is actually vital. We forgot to mention about it.
Yeah.
A barista hygiene is really, really, really vital because people are skeptical. They will see you with your dirty hands. They will,
Exactly.
So hygiene as a barista is very important.
Sure.
So
very
our coffee is ready.
Yeah.
And it's
Okay, if you are following us from home, I hope that you have got the same result. If you did something and your coffee turned out a bit different, it's your first time, it's okay. These things are a process you can always learn. These guys are here to help you. You can always contact us. We'll let you know where you can get them. There are different schools, and And as we close, we'll be taking a cup of coffee later, but we've come towards the end of our show. So we'll start with you, Ali. I just want you to look into that camera. Okay, I know there's a barista out there, there's someone who wants to enter that coffee business, but they do not know where to start. They don't know if it's a good decision for them. So I just want you to look into that camera and just talk to someone out there, encourage them, you know, and stuff about the coffee business.
Okay. Baristry is an amazing experience because you enjoy what you do, you love what you're doing, you get to love coffee. Trust me, you can't regret making that good decision. So if you're at home there and you want to be a barista, please come and try out. It's very nice. It's an amazing experience.
Okay. Yes, Arnold.
To every barista, every young man out there who is interested in making money, first of all, because baristry is not like something that you're going to learn and maybe at a point, yes, you may not get a job immediately, but it's a skill that you have in your head and you can actually invent and start your own business. That's the beauty about it. Like, the more you get exposure, the more knowledge you get from different places. So for any barista out there, any young man out there who is really lacking and, you know, they feel like, you know, should I try it? Come on, it's time. The coffee industry is growing big in Uganda and out. Baristas are really respected people, not like before. So please join. It is really a very good adventure. Come on, down at Blue Plus. We are ready for you.
Interesting. Before we go, I was watching a clip. I don't know if you guys got that clip. There was a gym trainer, very big guy. He was saying that, you know, people should actually become baristas because it's a cool thing when, you know, people call you a barista. You know, it sounds nice. But in the gym, they be calling you trainer, coach,
gym instructor,
and all these funny things. Yeah. So, like the guy said, if you're out there, you know, you're skeptic about the coffee business, especially for the students who are actually not going to school now. It's something that it's a skill that you can add. Okay. And not only a skill, it's another way to make money, right? It's a hustle actually. You know, Kampala has hustles, you know. It's one of those hustles because if you get different gigs, you know, every weekend, you know, you can pay your rent here, pay the water bill there. So if you're out there, baristry is the right way to go. The coffee business is growing, so it's better to get into it when it's still at the ground floor. You know, when it reaches the upper floor, it's a bit harder, right?
It's a bit harder.
So I just want to thank you guys for giving us basically your time and also sharing your wisdom and your experiences with us. I hope that next time, you know, when you come back here, hopefully we'll be talking about how you're setting up your coffee shop, you know, how you're setting up a school or something like that. And till next time, I've had with me Ali and Arnold in the studio, sharing with us different experiences. We hope that next time they'll be back. And like I said before, if there is someone, a barista, a roaster, a farmer, who you know needs to be on this show, please send us a message. We'll make sure we headhunt them and get them on this show. Thank you for giving us your time. This has been the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. With me, Emmanuel. Till next time, enjoy your cup of coffee.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Blue Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
as a child, if you visibly remember, what did you want to be in life?
Well, if I go back, I think I looked at two things as a child. I thought about, I looked up to the skies and I'd see the stars and, see the airplanes flying over. And as I was there, with my dad, looking after the cows, or with my grandma going fishing, or with my grandpa farming, I'd look up and go, wow, what are those things up there? And then someone told me, that's a space station. Go, okay, interesting. And what else is up there? Well, those are stars, and those are airplanes. I thought, well, it would be great, to figure out how those things work. Yeah. And so I guess that was one interesting, passion of mine as a little kid, figuring out how aerospace vehicles work. And I guess that wasn't, something which excited me a lot.
Wow. You said the two things. So how did you end up there? You were fishing with your grandmother, you mentioned, and farming with your father, and grazing with your grandfather. Why were you not able to pick one of these from these, three different distinct people, and then you ended up in the things that are up in the sky with all this interest? What was the motivation like? Was somebody an aerospace engineer? Was somebody thinking about the things up, or it just came to you?
It's, back then, we didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't even have phones, yes. Or television. We just had nature, and that was great, And we had stories around the campfire, around the hearth every evening. We'd sit down and talk to each other. We lived quite close to national parks, so every now and again a lion would hop over and grab a cow and go and have supper as well. So we shared with the lion. So it was being at one with nature. But what was important in all that was allowing one's mind to imagine, allowing one's mind to run, to fly, to really go as far as one's mind could possibly go. Yeah. And if I think of looking at things from the space going down, I could still look down and figure out what's going on, on the fishing side. I could look at what's going on the farming side. I could look at what's going on the grazing side, because when you're up there, you can see everything. Yeah. But it also helps you appreciate how special the earth is. Yeah. And yeah, so that's I'm most grateful for that natural environment that any kid in a rural village in Uganda or any other part of Africa right now has, that where you see every star, and I believe there is something special about that.
Hello and welcome to Slam Dunk Basketball Talk on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel. Remember, this is the show where we dissect the game of basketball happening in Uganda and internationally. We get to talk about the various things that are happening, the basketball competitions. We get to analyze what goes on in the game of basketball, especially what's happening in the Ugandan League. Remember, you can catch us on our social media handles at House of Talent Uganda. That is on our Facebook, at House of Talent Uganda live stream on YouTube, or at House of Talent ug.com on our website. Make sure to share this show. If you know there's someone who needs to be watching right now, just let them know that the show is on and we're going to be talking about basketball. My counterpart Felix Upal couldn't be here today, but I know that he's somewhere watching and he will be here next time. But nonetheless, I have a man in the studio today who has played the game of basketball for a very long time, and he has got a lot of experience. He has transitioned from just being a player into being a coach, and he is here today to talk about his experience and also the status of university basketball in Uganda. This is none other than Osito Jacob. Jacob, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's weird to call you Jacob because on court we just know you as OJ. You know?
Yeah, just like I know you as Eti.
As Eti. Yeah, so for those who are watching us live, on the basketball court, we are not known by our government names. We are known by different nicknames that you can get through, you know, playing the game of basketball, and they're called street names basically. So
like a stage name.
Yes, like a stage name. So if you went and asked for Emmanuel at pool court, they wouldn't know it was me. Yeah, but OJ, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's very good to have you.
I'm humbled.
Thank you for honoring our request to be here. And we'll just jump right in. I know that you've been playing basketball for a while now, and
sure.
Your transition into being a coach for the Makerere University Sparks ladies team.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we just want to find out. Obviously, all of us start our journey, you know, not knowing the game of basketball at all.
True.
Yeah, and I believe that you had a start, and right now I don't want to say you're at an end, but you're in the process of becoming something bigger. You know? So we just want you to walk us through how you started from being a player and transitioning all the way into a ladies coach. I mean, you could have coached the Makerere guys team or something, but now you're coaching the ladies. So what was that transition like for you? What is that journey that, you know, we can listen to?
Okay, first and foremost, thank you very much for hosting me. I'm really humbled, and I'm blessed to be here. Yeah, surely. Talking about basketball, personally, my journey of basketball started from far, very far. That was in high school, and in a situation whereby we did not have enough exposure. We didn't have coaches. We didn't have the facilities like we do have them right now. Although I'm saying this like there's so many years ago, there are not so many. That was about, I began knowing basketball in 2007. That was at KPC when I was in P7 vacation. That is end of 2007 actually, that KPC North. That's when I first touched basketball. Then 2008 when I joined Namilyango in Senior 1. I saw people playing. Actually, the people whom I saw there playing and inspired me were Sally of, he played for Chambogo Warriors. Do you remember him?
The left-handed.
Yes. And Omongin. Omongin, last I saw him playing for City Oil. Those were the guys whom I found in Namilyango. I was in Senior 1. These guys were playing basketball at another level. And we would actually just go there to watch them. You know, for us by that time, they couldn't allow you to step on the basketball court that those guys are on, because they were senior 6s, you are a senior 1. You just, the best you can do is watch. Other than that, you don't step there. But nonetheless, that's where I started. Beautifully, or I would say lucky for me, that when I was playing with those guys, once in a while when they could see me about midday 1, when the sun is very hot, when they are still resting and waiting to come. So when we would go to court and, you know, try a few shots here and there, and then they would come and they meet us, they would see what we are doing, and, you know, they would identify talent. I don't know if I can use that word. So, you know, one or another, they identified my talent. They realized I could at least throw in the ball. At any sport. They would just give it to me. Although I was weak, I didn't know how to bounce. They only told me one thing: throw in the ball. And throwing in the ball gave me an opportunity to play with them. When I was in Senior 1, Senior 2, but still, of course, I still had people who didn't believe in me, and it was challenging. More so because Namilyango College is a school that is known for rugby. So everyone who went there, the first thing was rugby. You hear anything out there when the guys are talking about Namilyango College, it's rugby. So when you come in here and it's basketball, you're like, I've not heard about basketball here. This one is not going anywhere. And you know, when you're in high school, it's usually the outings that motivate us a lot. Those who play rugby would go out like every weekend. And you're in Senior 1, you're like, this is what I want. I want to be going out every weekend. That was like the epitome of everything in high school. But when I tried playing rugby, unfortunately, I had a very serious injury. By then, that's what gave me a chance to go and check on basketball. Someone dared me, one of our very good players by the way of rugby. He dared me, and they gave me a ball, and he wanted to tackle me. So I also wanted to prove a point that I can knock him. Unfortunately, yeah, I hit him successfully, but he also hit me successfully. So he hit me and I dislocated my finger. That is an injury that he left on me permanently. Each time I look at it like this, I'm like, yeah. It was called Donnie in high school, but it's called Donald. He actually finished from Saita High. Each time I look at it, I'm sure he doesn't even remember. Each time I look at it, I'm like, yeah, Donnie, you hit me here, but you're the reason I play basketball now. So after that, I went and tried basketball, but it was still hard because, you know, I came from a primary school that did not have any sports background, especially basketball. Yeah, and that school is in Tinda. I studied from Kalinabiri Primary School. That's where I hail from. If I joined Namilyango College. But I went to Namilyango, I didn't know basketball, and there were these other kids who knew the game. So even if I had the height advantage, they still knew the dribble, the rules, and the what. So that's where I got challenged. These guys would put me aside because they're like, he doesn't know anything. So it was very hard for me to break through, but I think I have that nature of being persistent. So I kept on going there each time I had the opportunity because I couldn't go back to rugby. No, I couldn't. After that knock, I was like, no, I'll try another sport. And I loved sports naturally. So I kept on persisting, and then the senior sixes, those of Omongin, realized I could throw in the ball and they could give me a chance. So I went on shooting once in a while until my senior two there. That's when I began. Now, by my senior two, Namilyango had constructed another basketball court, but it still had a lot of dust on the floor. Now that was our court. So that's where for us would go and play. That's where I got my basketball experience from. I began playing, and unfortunately by then we did not have a basketball coach, like a permanent coach for Namilyango College. Since I think the school was more focused into rugby, maybe, I'm not sure why, but I would just assume, because rugby always had about 2-3 coaches, and these were old boys of the school. Basketball, I think we didn't have an old boy by then who was so much interested in teaching the game, because we didn't have any, and yet we needed one. By my senior 2, senior 3, we are now getting a chance of being exposed to playing with. Now, you know, when you reach in senior 3 in such a school, you now get a chance to play against the senior 5s once in a while, because senior 3, you're now a junior elder, I would say. So you can also command some respect. So you get the chance to play. And for me, I don't know if I should say whether fortunate or unfortunate, that by that time, the senior 5s and 6s, by that time, we didn't have basketballers. So I was one of the senior players now, although I was still a junior elder. So I began commanding some respect there. I got a chance to become a captain for the O-level by then. Then when I went to senior 4, we did not have a captain. The HSCs were very poor at the game. But this is something that used not to happen. It was actually not allowed. An O-level cannot be the captain of the school team. But for me, because I was doing the job very well, and I was in senior 4, and the ones who are in A-level knew less than I did. So they were like, let the guy take the job. So that's how I became the captain. And the other thing that made them also accept that is that I used to coach these senior 1s and senior 2s. Because I realized that there was a gap in basketball and these kids didn't know, and there were very many. So I would just tell them, come, I teach them what I knew by then. This is how they shoot, this is how they bounce the ball. I just teach them the basics. And interestingly, even some of those HSCs, I would also teach them. I have some good friends of mine, they look at, even my classmates, they look at me and they're like, yeah, you taught us basketball. I was in HSC and I was teaching, I was in senior 4 and I was teaching my elders how to play the game. And they were respecting me, that's the beauty of it. They could listen to what I would say and they were learning, so they were like, this guy will do the job. So that's how I began my coaching career slowly. In my O-level, that was 2011. 2012, 2013, that's when I was in HSC. In HSC, that's when I went so much into coaching. And I told one of my friends that, you know what, if I leave high school, I want to either become a coach or an umpire. By then I wasn't sure which one I can do. In fact, I wasn't even sure which one can pay.
Well, let me cut you off there. It's really exciting to know your high school journey and you know how you're going to transition into the university. We're going to take a break right now. I know there are many people outside there excited to know how you transition from high school into university basketball. You're watching the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel. In the studio with me is Osito Jacob, aka OJ, the head coach for the Makerere University Sparks ladies team. We will take a break right now and we will be right back. This is House of Talent Television, the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk Show. Welcome back to the Slam Dunk Basketball Talk. My name is Emmanuel and this is House of Talent Television. Remember, you can catch us on our socials at House of Talent TV, that's on our Facebook, on House of Talent TV Uganda live stream, that's on our YouTube. You can also catch us at HTV Uganda, that's on our Twitter handle, or at houseoftalentug.com, that's on our website. Make sure to share this show as far and wide as you can, because this is the show that we talk about basketball. It's the only basketball show in Uganda. With me in the studio today is OJ. His other name is Osito Jacob, but we only just call him OJ because that is how we know him on the basketball court. And before we went off for a break, you were basically telling us your journey, how you started the game of basketball, how in S3 you started coaching the S1s, and you know we had almost reached that point where you transitioned into campus, and you know, just take us from there, you know, moving from high school, now moving into campus and becoming a coach. Just take us from there.
Yes, from high school, actually my coaching started in high school in my senior 4 around there.
Yeah.
And then when I went to, that was in Olive actually, so when I went to my vacation, that was in end of 2013.
Yeah.
So I was in senior 6 VAC. Actually, not 2014.
Yeah.
I was in senior 6 VAC. I began by coaching. I was volunteering as an assistant coach to Namilyango College.
Oh.
You know, after just finishing, and I was their captain, and I was already coaching those who were there. But because by then my high school coach was Maurice Otedro.
Oh.
He taught me a lot of things. He actually used to tell me what to teach others when he's not around. And he was a very busy man, I remember. So he would tell me, on this day, teach them ABCD. I'll come back at the end of the week. So by the time I finished high school, I knew nearly everything that Maurice would coach us.
Yeah.
So when I was in senior 6 VAC, I was more like his assistant.
Yeah.
Although the school used not to pay me, I was more of a volunteer. So whenever there were games, I would go there and work with him, and I support him, and I learn new things. And I got an opportunity. My first opportunity was out of volunteering to coach Namilyango as an assistant, who knew very well because I had experience. I had done that for about 4 years as his assistant. I got an opportunity to go and coach Hilton High School. They were having a game during qualifiers, Mukono qualifiers. They were having a game and they were struggling. Yeah. So their coach, by then, he was also an OB of the school, and he needed help. So he called me to help in. Yeah. So I went to help in, and because of what I had learned, I just adjusted a few things in his game, and it was actually the girls playing, the girls of Hilton. These girls won this game by a big margin, and they were very excited. I was also very happy because it looked like a miracle. So that is where I think my breakthrough started in coaching. Yeah. Because actually, as a player, that journey was really, because as I told you, or as we earlier discussed, when I was in high school, I never got a chance to play nationals. Yeah. So, and you know, in our setting here, if you don't play nationals at high school, no one gets to know you. Yeah, true. Yeah, I was the captain of my team, but I never had the chance because my parents wanted me to concentrate on books. Yeah. Which I did. And they later allowed me to do basketball after I had finished high school, interestingly. Yeah, so after they had won that game, Hilton, the following year, they were like, you know what, why don't you come and help us here? I told them, okay, I can do that. By then, I was the first year. I was just joining campus first year. So I would move from Makerere, and I go straight to Mukono, Wantoni, that side. And I coach them, and they give me some command. They would fund my transport. I would go actually twice a week. It was Friday. It was, I either Friday and Saturday, 2 days a week. And I was very happy because I was the head coach for the first time. You know, I had been under my coach. I was happy being under my coach because I was learning. But now, you know, the feeling of you're the one in charge. It was the first time. And I was very excited. Even if I would struggle with jam and run out of class to run to gun coach, I still liked it because it was me now in charge. I was the one to make the decisions. So I coached them for 1 year. The following year, fortunately, Morris got an opportunity, and he was now living in Namilyango. So Namilyango never had a coach, and they began looking around, and I was right there, very present, very much willing. When they told me about the opportunity, and they were like, you have a contract to sign, I didn't even want to read the contract. All I wanted was to go and coach Namilyango. Because Morris had already put Namilyango at a certain level. Because everyone now knew that Namilyango plays basketball. And the beauty of it is I had moved with him through that whole journey, right from the time, because he came in when I was in S3, I was already coaching somehow. And actually I remember he came in because he had a young brother there. He actually plays, that young man plays for Riders, Riders, plays for Riders, Asede. He's popularly known as Acid, if you've heard that name also there, So he actually left Namilyango and went to Chibuli because he did so well, and Chibuli took him in his HSC. But that's the reason why Morris first came to Namilyango. So I learned everything from him. And by the time he was leaving, I could actually run whatever he had done, So I ran Namilyango from about 2016, 17, up to now. I'm still their coach up to now. And the beauty of it is that I was very successful. We always qualified for nationals until Fresh Diaries in Mbale, which was the last, that was 2019, I think, 2019. So by that time I was a student at Makerere here, and once in a while I would find the girls training, and I would go and